This is a really crazy situation here. We have a woman who came down from West Virginia to get a BBL at Encore Plastic Surgery. This is in Florida. And she went into cardiac arrest. But what really upset me was instead of them being focused on her being in cardiac arrest, it was on their establishment, in their establishment, that she went into cardiac arrest, something that they obviously did for her to go into cardiac arrest. She couldn't do it herself. She was under anesthesia and sleeping, right? She goes into cardiac arrest, and what does Encore do? They call another patient that was coming from, I think it was Brooklyn, New York, to come in early so she could get her procedure done. Her not knowing, this other lady, that somebody is right now in critical condition, in cardiac arrest, because of her procedure that was done maybe about an hour before.
A death investigation is underway after a mother who came to South Florida for cosmetic surgery died following medical complications from that procedure. CBS 4's Gary Nelson is live in Hialeah. And Gary, we have new information just in from the police department, right?
Yes, late this afternoon, Hialeah police told us that the medical examiner, the coroner, preliminarily has found that this apparently was an accidental death arising from medical complications here at this storefront plastic surgery clinic. But this is a clinic that has a record of employing some doctors with very significant blemishes on their records.
I said this in a few of my videos. A lot of these plastic surgery companies are driven from money, the greed, not the livelihood of this woman that just went into cardiac arrest. Not caring of that livelihood at all. Just caring about the dollar bills that they're gonna lose if they don't compose themselves and take the next patient.
At the Encore Plastic Surgery Center in Hialeah, business as usual. The day after, 29-year-old Heather Meadows died from complications of an undisclosed cosmetic procedure. She had traveled here from West Virginia, drawn apparently by cheap prices.
Up until this morning, I was coming in here to have surgery.
Like this woman from New York who changed her mind. Encore's website lists two surgeons, James McAdoo and Orlando Llorente. Neither has any history of complaints or discipline by the state, and it's not clear if either operated on Heather.
Now, that was really concerning to me. Then when I hear further, this doctor, one of them that I'm referring to, who has negligently caused the death and injuries of other patients as well. And then there are other people that work there as well that have caused injuries and death between the two sister companies, Vanity Cosmetics and Encore Plastic Surgery. It's like, who is overseeing these people?
This is not the only case that's gone south. This is Kathleen Rodriguez, rushed to the hospital Saturday, her family says, after suffering cardiac arrest twice while undergoing liposuction at Encore. We know many doctors operate at the Encore Plastic Surgery Center and the Vanity Cosmetic Center, an affiliated clinic in West Miami-Dade. Our partners at the Miami Herald report surgeons who work at Vanity and Encore have been cited for malpractice, having unlicensed doctors perform surgeries, and prescription fraud.
My name is Dr. 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪.
The state's trying to yank this doctor's license after he seriously injured 4 patients in 2 days last year. He's appealing. Records show many patients have been rushed from these clinics to hospitals after allegedly blown procedures.
But see, the problem is they are not being held accountable. They're being taken into a health board and fines and all this other stuff, and then they walk scot-free. It takes maybe about a dozen lives to be taken before some of these doctors even lose their license.
I'm not having surgery here. You kidding me? It's a chop shop.
Antoinette says she came all the way from Brooklyn, New York for a Brazilian butt lift procedure at Encore Plastic Surgery.
They were calling me this morning to come in earlier to have surgery when they knew this happened.
But quickly changed her mind this morning after learning another patient lost her life shortly after undergoing a similar procedure. Hialeah Police Department is investigating that patient's death. Heather Meadows came down from West Virginia for plastic surgery. Family members say she was happy and healthy, but shortly after the surgery, she was rushed to the hospital and died.
And in the process of that, there are people who lost their life. And Encore, this is also what doesn't get me. Someone who has went into cardiac arrest and one woman has lost their life on your watch. One woman died. And then a second woman went into cardiac arrest. But the woman that died, you want to sit there and blame health issues, things that she had wrong in your establishment that caused the death of this young lady.
First, I want to reemphasize what Dr. Dubrow said last night, which is that if you're about to have a plastic procedure and it's not in a hospital setting, ask that surgeon if he or she is certified to do this in a hospital. Because hospitals have a certain standard that have to be met. If he or she meets those standards, you're in better shape. Now, this woman, Heather Meadows, died from a fat embolism during cosmetic surgery for a Brazilian butt lift. Fat embolism literally is fat getting into your bloodstream as they're doing the liposuction, gets into the bloodstream, breaks loose, clogs your lungs typically.
You're still to be of blame because she should have came in with some sort of medical paperwork for you to look over. You should have asked her that. So you would have knew clearly what perhaps you were up against. And whatever autopsy that you did do on your end, that did not clear you as a clinic. Just because you're saying what you're saying. A full autopsy has and will be done on this lady and what was the cause of death. Not from you guys, because there's a lot of people that work in your practice that their records are not squeaky clean. And you seem not to have a problem with having these people work and take the risk of them hurting or killing somebody because they're not being responsible when doing these procedures, and people are going into cardiac arrest and in some cases death.
Can be devastating. And frankly, I have not seen fat embolism syndrome from liposuction since the very early days of liposuction. So something was wrong with what they were doing with this procedure. There was a secondary cause of death listed as complications from lipid transfer, which is, again, the fat issue. Also had a heart defect, according to them. They also said they saw fat in the coronary arteries, which makes no sense. The only way you can get there, again, is if it crosses over, as I said. So what's being reported is a mess, except to say that it is a fat embolism syndrome, which is something that is rare. We used to see it, but it's certainly rare these days. Annalise, you have a question?
So when you're looking at this fact scenario, are you thinking maybe a malpractice situation here?
Well, malpractice for sure, but the question is they're wondering if there's some sort of criminal negligence going on here.
Wow.
That's,
This can't happen. I understand that this is a craze. I understand there's a lot of money that goes along with giving people what they want. But we have to be ethical. We have to understand that safety is first, and that we can't just go around doing botched BBLs or BBLs that are done incorrectly, and people are going into cardiac arrest and passing away. It doesn't make any sense. How does a patient get up in the morning to put their life into your hands and they don't leave back out the same way that they came through those doors? Something is seriously wrong. Something needs to be done. Something needs to be implemented. And then we also have to educate the patients when looking for these doctors for these very dangerous procedures in the first place.